This lecture is going to be about my numerology chart and my secret code that goes along with it. There could be a god of English and imagination, the alpha and the omega, anything you put your mind to, in book of Matthew, it says, ask and they will be given to you, and if your son asks for a fish, you won't give him a snake, or if your son asks for bread, you won't give him a stone. This is basically the epicenter of God is the Alpha and Omega, and I'm saying I'm the closest one to God. I'm a direct link. A prophet. I'm using this numerology chart. I'm the English God. And here's my secret code. It says Andrew Clayton, the only one who was right during the separation of church and state, equals money. Churches bank off of the Alpha and the Omega. I'm going to go into a little bit about, the dollar bill, paying taxes to Caesar. They said, ends in begins in A, and the last letter of my Aten begins in O. Like, there are coincidences, and then there's some coincidences that can't not be explained. I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but there's a fine line between doing the right thing when people believe in something that is an exact science like numerology, and there's a direct correlation between what God wants to do and what he wants you to do. Like, there could be an apex where we could all believe and get the blessings of God. They used to say that the first 12 followers of Jesus, well, first 11 minus Judas, were divine. But there's only one person in life that could really prove that he was divine, and that was Andrew Clayton, me. You know, people have, untapped imagination. There could be a gatekeeper of Revelations, where they spoke about the dragon, and the seven-headed dragon is like, there could be a world where dragons and stuff like that exist because there's a God with unlimited imagination. 999 is like almost infinite. Well, as far as context, like how far you take something. Like there can be people like I'm a star child, like a sun god, like Amun Ra, like there's 9 deities of different things, like you could choose to believe in the truth, or you can believe in the one that the gods have always believed in. And I'll go into that a little bit later in this podcast. Like the churches. Churches get separation of church and state, and that means it's still part of that. That means they still go tax free, but other people can believe whatever they want to. That is just because they wanted to, say that they can push, like a baker doesn't have to bake a cake for a gay church, but it was really absolutionism back in the day. Like 1923 is when they came up with the new dollar, the one with the Alpha and Omega sign on the back, and it was the one with the Alpha and Omega sign on the front. They predicted, what we would have to go through in order to earn money. And there's only one right way to earn money, and that is with the trust of God, doing it the right way. So these people that go out and spend their money on wild living, you know, you want to be God, right with God, and on the same page with God. I spoke to you about the parable of the lost son. There was one, the Omega, that was at the end. And if you can guess who that is compared to, Jesus Christ, who went out and had lavish living with prostitutes and, sinners. And you could say, you can believe who was right, who was wrong. And Aries being, the first sign of the Bible, not the sign of the Bible, but of the stars. And this is more about the deity Akhenaten. I don't know how to pronounce it. He's King Tut's dad. It says Akhenaten. Sorry about that, I just got done eating. Aten, known before the 5th year of the reign of Amenhotep the Fourth, was an ancient pharaoh of the 18th dynasty who ruled for 17 years and died perhaps in 1336 BC or 1334 BC. He was noted for abandoning traditional polytheism and introduced worship centering on the Aten, which is sometimes described as the monotheistic, henotheistic, or even quasi-monotheistic. An early inscription likens the Aten, or the sun, as compared to the stars. Later, the official language avoids calling Aten a god, giving the solar deity a status above mere gods. Notice Aten is sort of similar to my name. It begins with, my name's Andrew Clay Otten. Begins with an A, ends in 10, Otten. And Akhenaten begins with the A and ends in 10. Aten must be something similar to, Amun-Ra, like the sun god. It says it's the sun compared to the stars. It's pretty scary being me sometimes, but I was built with the context of, enlightenment and but even if you sent me against the whole world, if nobody was on my side, nobody'd win. Jesus has his own day, Christmas, I keep on telling people I'm trying to lead them back to the Alpha and the Omega, but the Alpha and the Omega was just who Jesus was prophesying about. And you could go to the New Testament and look at it compared to what Jesus said and compared to what the Alpha and the Omega, the second coming, is going to come and do, The churches get rich off of the Alpha and the Omega, and none of it goes to me, him, the Alpha and the Omega, or his servant, me. They said paying the imperial tax, I'll read this to you. Paying the imperial tax to Caesar, the Pharisee went out and laid plans to trap him in his words. They sent their disciples to him among the Herodians. Teacher, they said, we know you, that you are a great integrity, and you teach the way of the God according to the truth. You are swayed by other others because you pay no attention to who they are. Tell us, what is your opinion? Is it right to pay the imperial tax to Caesar or not? But Jesus, knowing their evil intent, said, "You hypocrites, why are you trying to trap me? Show me the coin used for paying imperial taxes." They brought him a denarius, and then he asked them, "Whose image is on this? And whose inscription?" "Caesar's," they replied. Then they said to him, "So give back to Caesar's what's Caesar's, and give God what is God's." When they heard this, they were amazed, so they left him and went away. The denarius. This is what it looked like. They could put the whole weight of the world on somebody, and not give credit where it's due, by the Bible. They only mention the Alpha and Omega in one book. Not every Christian believes in the Alpha and Omega. They only believe in the Christ. That's why they call it the Christian religion. They believe in the Christian. They don't believe in the Aten. Aten was like the God. Well, this has been this podcast. Thank you.